हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल द सोलफुल डायरी। आज के वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर की स्टोरी गोरा के बारे में। इससे पहले जितने भी वीडियोस हमने रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर के डिस्कस किए हैं उसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है। चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज की वीडियो। चलिए ब्रीफ में स्टोरी डिस्कस करते हैं गोरा की। Gora is a famous novel by Rabindranath Tagore. It was written in the backdrop of the British ruled India of the 19th century. This novel does not only talk about the atrocities on Indians by the British, but it is also a story of the moral and social duality going on within man. This novel is full of philosophy and thoughts and forces the reader to think what is right and wrong. The main character of the story are Gora, Guru Mohan and Binoy. Binoy is a humble, educated, intelligent, and logical person. He is a supporter of change in society and modern ideas. At the same time, Gora is a staunch Hindu who fully follows religious customs. He considers himself to be superior on the basis of religion and caste. Gora was not actually a Hindu. He was a child of a Christian parent adopted by a Hindu family, but he did not know about it. He considered himself a Hindu from birth and considered Hinduism as the soul of the country. When the British people started insulting Hindu culture, Gora felt that it was necessary to liberate India first, and then one should talk about religion. According to him, Hinduism is the soul of India, and it only makes sense to the country. On the other hand, Binoy, a Brahma Samaji named Paresh Babu, meets a person. The Brahma Samaj was an organization that was started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Its followers were rational and generous ideas. He wanted to stay away from the evils of traditional Hinduism and bring changes in the society. Many of them believed that the British would improve India, but some Brahma Samaj considered Hindus as backward and ignorant. Paresh Babu's wife name is Baroda Shudri, who is a rigorous woman. He is survived by his own children and adopted children Satish and three daughters Lalita, Lavanya and Leela. Lavanya is intelligent and rebellious in nature. Binoy and Lavanya's friendship gradually grows. Meanwhile, Binoy meets another Brahmaharan Babu, Pannu Babu, who is against the match with outsiders. Gora is sent to know about Paresh Babu, but he goes there to argue. The debate is about the values of religion and society. Gradually, Gora feels that what he thinks is not always right. He is also influenced by the understanding and self confidence of Sucharita Lavanya, but is unable to accept his feelings. Then, in an incident, Gora and Binoy go to see a drama where the British magistrate also comes. Gora goes to meet the magistrate with the problems of some villages, but he does not get hearing. This makes even more anger towards the British. This journey of Gora becomes a journey of self-consciousness. He starts questioning the existence of religion, society, country, and himself. When he finds out that he is not actually a Hindu, his trust is broken, but from there he also understands that the real identity is made from humanity and truth, not from caste or religion. Gora is a novel that reflects the complexities, religious differences, and patriotism of Hindu society, of the Indian society. It is a journey of human internal conflict and self-realization. Tagore has not only shown the truth of society in it, but has also told that true religion is the one who connects humanity, but not one that breaks. हम लोग इसमें सिर्फ गोरा का कैरेक्टर डिस्कस करेंगे। गोरा is more than a mere novel. It is an epic of Indian and transition at a crucial period of modern history when the social conscience and intellectual awareness of the new intelligentsia were in the throes of a great churning. Rabindranath Tagore was a man of versatile genius. He was a poet, playwright, novelist, educator, social reformer, nationalist, and composer. He achieved a perennial success Bengali as well as in English language. He became Asia's first Nobel laureate when he won the 1913 Nobel Prize in Literature for his Gitanjali or song offerings. Gora, central character of the novel. Tagore's Gora is the work of a supreme art. Among major characters like Binoy, Paresh Babu, Suchitra, political uh, political Anand Moy, Gora is drawn as a central character. About the importance of Gora's character, Pavani Bhattacharya says the main character in the book, Guru Mohan or Gora, has been created with depth and sympathy. While a critic like K.R.S. Iyengar finds Gora as the mouthpiece of Tagore's ideal of nationalism and internationalism, he further notes he is the most striking person ever created by Tagore in his fictional world. He represents the nationalist and idealist youth of Bengal at the end of 19th century. He is an awfully powerful character and voice of Indian. He wants to declare only one thing: India is the land of Hindus. He is a violent nationalist. The sea change which takes place in him is the real study of the novel. His personality. Gora has a well formed personality. Even in his college, his professors call him the Snow Mountain because he was outrageously white. Tagore describes him. He was nearly 6 feet tall with big bones and fists like the paws of a tiger. The sound of his voice was so deep and rough that you would be startled if you suddenly heard him calling. His face was large and excessively strong. He had practically no eyebrows. His lips were thin. He had a very strong body and impressive physical feature of an Englishman. Moreover, he was self-confident, orthodox, and obstinate. So his friend Benoit tell him plainly, "You have one great fault, Cora. You seem to believe that all God's strength has been given to you alone. The secret of his birth and parentage, the secret of Gora's personality, which keeps him away from becoming an ordinary Bengali young man, lies in the birth and parentage. Since Gora himself did not know his real parents, he was neither a Bengali or a Hindu or nor Indian at all. He was the son of an Irish man and English mother. She had been given shelter at Anand Moy's house during the rising of 1857. She gave birth to Gora and died. Anand Moy had no children of her own, so she adopted him. Krishna Dayal performed the thread ceremony and had him educated in Calcutta. His respect for his parents. Gora was a foundling in the family of Krishna Dayal and Anand Moy. He got the child when he was posted the government service at Ottawa. Since the very birth of Gora, Anand Moy had great affection for Gora. He had lived with Anand Moy and Krishna Dayal like their own son. Gora had great respect for Anand Moy. In her, he finds the true image of mother. He says, "Mother, you are my mother, the mother for whom is been seeming all day was the item sitting in my room at home. You have not cast, you make no distinction, you have no hatred. It is you who are India." Gora has respect for his father Krishnadayal, yet Gora's mind revolted against his ways. His education. Krishnadayal, out of affection for Gora, had to go through the thread ceremony so that Gora might be considered to be a sacred Brahmin. Anand Moy took due care of his education. Discussion between Benoit and Gora on India's freedom and the position of women in India shows that he was a learned man. He used to contribute articles in a paper and Sucharita used to read them with delight. He was an orthodox Hindu and he had gathered quite deep knowledge on Hindu rites and Hindu Shastras. He was able to discuss religious matters quite authoritatively. Thus, we can say that Gora was quite highly educated and well informed on religious matters. Gora, as a representative of Hinduism, Gora is a novel of discussion and ideas about contemporary social problems related to Hinduism. In it, Gora is the most orthodox Hindu. Gora, as an idealist, believes in the noble ideas of Hinduism. In the initial career at college, he was rather indifferent to matters religion. Like many young men in college, Gora used to ridicule the learned pandits who visited the house of Krishna Dayal. But one old once and much learned pandit met him and taught him the principle of Vedanta philosophy. It gave him the correct idea of the greatness of Hindu religion, and Gora gradually turned into a strong champion of Hindu religion. He also became an orthodox observer of even minor rules of behavior Once he refused a cup of tea served by a Brahmo girl. As an orthodox Bengali and traditional bound young man, he began to dress like the Bengali farmers in rough clothes and began to put caste mark on his forehead and his body. His view on love, women, and caste system. He was the believer in love, while when he discusses it with Anand Moy, he says you can disregard the Shastras, but you must have regard for those whom you love. On status of women, Gora says the scriptures tell us that woman is deserving of worship. In the best novel, Gora Tagore has raised many contemporary social problems and evils related to Hinduism and its adversary, Brahmanism. Some critics have called the novel as a novel of ideas suitable to the spirit of the game. It focuses on the caste system. Gora is quite orthodox in the institution of caste system. He was he with Krishna Dayal discusses the merit of a Brahmin family. He thinks that caste system is the wisest method of division in labor and intellectual world. A Brahmin is devoted to the highest ideal of spiritual knowledge. He believed in Hindu culture, tradition, rites, and rituals. His love for motherland. Gora is a patriot and a great lover of motherland. He has been great devotee to the movement for making his country free. Gora took the side of the student, and the English magistrate pushed him for once mother rigorous imprisonment. He did not like people who favored the Englishmen and follow their custom. Gora did not engage a lawyer and decided to plead his case himself. He explained boldly how the policeman unjustly beats up the boys. These events lead Sucharita fall in love with Gora. Like Shaw, Tagore has made Gora the mouthpiece of his ideals of nationalism and internationalism. In this respect, a critic, K.R.S. Iyengar, has pointed out the symbolic significance of the Gora as following: a character like Gora or the Kalivala becomes other than a person, he becomes a poetic symbol. Themes. The primary themes in Rabindranath Tagore's Gora are nationalism, identity, universalism, and religion. The novel explores the complexities of Indian nationalism under British rule, emphasizing the need for a broad humanist nationalism that transcends caste, class, and religious divisions. It follows the protagonist Gora on a personal journey of self discovery as he confronts and ultimately reject narrow orthodox patriotism in favor of a unified, inclusive vision of India. Nationalism versus universalism. The novel contrasts a rigid, exclusive form of nationalism with broader, universal human spirit. Goda's journey reflects the shift from a narrow, politically motivated patriotism to a larger sense of belonging and unity in diversity. Identity and self-discovery. Goda's character arc centers on his search for his true identity, which is intricately tied to his understanding of his Indianness. His discovery of his Western origins challenges his perception of self and the nature of his patriotism. Religion and spirituality. Gora delves into the conflict between traditional Hinduism and the Brahmo Samaj, criticizing the institutionalization of religion and its potential to divide people. Tagore champions a spiritual unity that moves beyond dogma and ritual. Colonialism and liberation. Set against the backdrop of British rule, the novel critiques the repressive colonial system and its impact on Indian society. The fight for independence and the assertion of a distinct national identity are central to the narrative. Caste, class, and gender. Gora also addresses the social issues of caste discrimination, class divisions, and the growing assertiveness of women against traditional orthodoxy. The novel highlights how these divisions hinder the progress of an inclusive national identity. Motifs. Key motifs in Rabindranath Tagore's Gora include nationalism, identity, humanism, religious versus secularism, and a clash between East and West. The novel explores the evolution of the concept of a syncretic Indian nation from the pre-colonial era through the lens of its protagonist, Gora, a man of Irish parentage, raised a Hindu who ultimately achieves a liberal humanistic ethics. Other motives involve the critique of religious orthodoxy, the creation of a modern Indian identity, and the transformative power of love and service to humanity. More nationalism and identity. The narrative revolves around the idea of a new inclusive Indian nation and a construction of a new self represented by Gora's quest for his true identity. Humanism versus dogma. The novel critiques the limitations of institutionalized religion and promotes universal humanism, advocating for a society free from divisions of caste, community, and race. Religious and cultural conflict. Gora portrays the conflicts between the traditional Hindu community and the Brahmo faith and the clashes between Eastern and Western idols that were prevalent during the era of colonial rule. Love and service. Love is presented as a powerful force that transcends religious differences, driving characters towards acts of service for their country and fellow humans, contributing to the creation of a new culture. Self discovery. The journey of the main character Gora from a dogmatic Hindu nationalist to a person of broad liberal ethics exemplifies the theme of self discovery and spiritual liberation. Critique of colonialism. The novel also critiques the effects of British colonial rule on Indian society and demonstrates how the struggle for political freedom must go beyond mere conflict with the colonizers to build a truly unified nation. Symbols. In Rabindranath Tagore's Gora, key symbols include Gora himself, representing the complexities of human nationalism and identity. The name Gora, meaning white, symbolizing purity and contrasting with his true identity. Anandamoi, Gora's foster mother, who symbolizes spiritual unity and universal motherhood, and the Brahmo Samaj in traditional Hindu society, representing the clash between modern reformist thought and orthodox religious practices. The British Raj is a symbol of repression, while the novel's diverse characters embody different ideologies and struggles within India at that time. Character based symbols. Gora. As the protagonist, Gora symbolizes the fervent yet sometimes rigid Hindu nationalist of the era, whose initial identity is deeply tied to a dogmatic interpretation of Hindu tradition. His journey towards self discovery reveals the complexities and hypocrisies of rigid nationalism. Anandamoi, Gora's foster mother, Anandamoi serves as a symbol of spiritual unity and universal love. She represents a form of Mother India transcending religious boundaries. Paresh Babu, as a proponent of the Brahmo Samaj, Paresh Babu represents the new reformist and more tolerant aspects of Hinduism, contrasting with the orthodoxy Gora initially embodies. Conceptual and ideological symbols. The name Gora. The name itself, meaning fair skinned or white, symbolizes a surface purity that contrasts sharply with Gora's true Irish origins and the complexity of his Indian identity. Hindu nationalism. The novel uses Gora to explore the dual nature of nationalism, its capacity for unity and its potential for divisiveness and exclusionary practices. British rule. The British Raj serves as an encompassing symbol of colonial oppression, highlighting the injustices faced by the Indian people and sparking the desire for a more inclusive humanist nationalism. Social and religious divides. The ongoing debates between the traditionalists like Gaura's foster family and the Brahmo Samaj followers like Paresh Babu's family symbolizes the deep social and religious fisheries in turn of the century India. Setting and contextual symbols. Calcutta. The setting in colonial Calcutta serves as a microcosm of India where the struggles for social and political reform, intellectual debates, and changing cultural landscape play out. थैंक यू। आई होप आज की वीडियो आपको पसंद है। कैसी लगी हमें कमेंट करके बताएं और हमें ये भी कमेंट करके बताएं कि आप आने वाले वीडियोस किस टॉपिक पर देखना चाहते हैं। अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी तो लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माई चैनल। मिलते हैं कल एक और इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो के साथ शाम 4 बजे। टिल देन कीप वॉचिंग एंड कीप सपोर्टिंग द सोलफुल डायरी। थैंक